I think obviously the biggest name would be Stephan, who's now, a mainstay fixture on YouTube. He was a successful YouTuber back then, but now he's on a whole different level. Then Meet Kevin is probably the second big standout, and we'll get into how we know Kevin later. Then we've also got Rosehart who showed up. We've got Chandler David Smith, obviously myself, Jeff Weibel, Matt Piche, and just a whole different cast of characters. And yes, our buddy Mike Van Hout, who back then I don't think would have ever really been seriously thinking about a YouTube channel, but now is spending a lot of his time, energy, and money in trying to build his personal brand. I think it's important that everyone watching this understands as well, there's not a single drop of their success, in my opinion, that is by accident. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and in today's video I talk about, well, a lot of the more successful, well-known YouTubers I know here in the real estate and personal finance space. And so that definitely includes the likes of Stephan, Meet Kevin, Chandler David Smith, Mike Rosehart, and a whole lot more. And what's really interesting to think is, back in 2018 is really when a lot of these bonds were solidified. That's when myself and Jeff Weibel hosted ORECK and the Vegas Entrepreneur Experience. Both these events were very different, but also at the same time very focused on being grassroots, authentic meetups that really were just about trying to celebrate with our fans and other real estate enthusiasts our love of real estate investing, social media, and everything kind of in that space. So in today's video, myself and Jeff Weibel sit back and just kind of reflect on all the amazing friendships we've made, why we believe that those individuals have become so successful when it comes to YouTube, and just kind of our personal experiences. So let's dive into today's video. What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here with Jeff Weibel. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on?
And so we thought we'd sit down and just talk about, well, it's been about 2 years since we did ORECK 2018. All right, welcome everyone to ORECK 2018.
Welcome everybody. You guys are asleep.
So, I'm Matt McKeever.
Jeff Weibel.
And so, yeah, this is ORECK. And the Vegas Entrepreneur Experience, which was V2018. And these were two real estate networking, social media oriented events that we hosted. One was a 2-day conference in London, Ontario that brought out over 250 people in its first inaugural year. The other was Jeff and I essentially rented out a entire hotel. We bought out a hotel for a weekend and turned it into a private playground for real estate entrepreneurs.
What's going on, guys? Just meeting some incredible people out here in Vegas.
And it was like a 63-room boutique hotel, and we essentially just invited a lot of our friends and a lot of the people from our network. And we were sitting down recently because it's been about 2 years, kind of halfway in between the two events, and we started thinking, it's kind of cool to think about where everyone ended up that showed up there. There was a lot of actually, influential real estate YouTubers that came out to our event. So quickly, I'll do a name drop, and then maybe we'll explore just our relationships with them, what we find inspiring about them, and really why we think they've been successful to the degree they are. So I think obviously the biggest name would be Stephan, who's now, a mainstay fixture on YouTube. He was a successful YouTuber back then, but now he's on a whole different level.
And talk about how you first kind of corresponded with him back in the day.
Yeah, so Graham, the way I originally got connected with him was I'd started my YouTube channel. I had about 300, maybe 350 total subscribers, period. No, thousands behind that. And Graham had 200 subscribers, and he reached out, we chatted, built a bit of a relationship, and we were just kind of on friendly terms throughout that. So again, it was just one of those things where we had something in common, wanting to be successful YouTubers, and we bonded and chatted over that, built up rapport, and just a relationship developed from there. So really cool getting to know Graham over the years, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into what makes him successful in a second. Then Meet Kevin is probably the second big standout, and we'll get into how we know Kevin later. Then we've also got Rosehart who showed up. We've got Chandler David Smith, obviously myself, Jeff Weibel, Matt Piche, and just a whole different cast of characters. And yes, our buddy Mike Van Hout, who back then I don't think we've ever really been seriously thinking about a YouTube channel, but now is spending a lot of his time, energy, and money in trying to build his personal brand. And that's really just the real estate oriented YouTubers. We actually invited out a couple other YouTubers that are more, they're not necessarily in front of the camera personalities, but both of them had built up very successful brands on YouTube as well. And so, you know, going by the brand of Top 5 for our buddy Greg, and then Cody, who I guess he has a ton of different brands at this point in time.
They pretty much have digital assets on YouTube, their YouTube channels.
And so it's just interesting, now that it's been 2 years, all these guys have just been hustling and doubling down and working harder and harder, and to see the success they've all had, but in very different ways at the same time. Every one of them have been very successful on social media and used it as a very effective tool, but they've all approached it in a slightly different way. So Stephan, you know, I think of him as like literally, I don't know, the big broadcasters, right? Like he's like Google, he's Facebook, or he's like CTV here in Canada, or maybe ABC in the States. He's literally just like the top dog, the 800-pound gorilla when it comes to real estate YouTubers. But then you've got guys like Meet Kevin, who's really carved out a very specific niche that still resonates with a broad group and audience as well. And to see like the hustle that both of them have put into YouTube and the amount of time and energy, Graham, I feel like, spends so much time analyzing the algorithm and just really understanding what engages people and makes the audience want to not only watch the entire video but interact and share it. And then Meet Kevin, who's really focused on building a deep relationship with a core audience base and just trying to produce all the content. I feel like I produce a lot of content, but he's even out there beating me. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, Jeff, because you know both these guys well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they came to, I can remember when Graham emailed you back in the day wondering about how you got to your 500 subs or close to there. And yeah, he's had phenomenal success right now. He's over 2 million subscribers on YouTube. It is his job, his day job. He was a realtor. He still is a realtor, but let's be honest, he's a YouTuber right now. And Graham, one word would be consistent. That guy has put out videos on YouTube on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. for us here, probably 2:30 in his area, every week since ever, pretty much, unless there's a holiday. That's insane. I can usually get a couple videos scheduled, and then I run into like day-to-day life that kind of like slows me down. Somehow Graham just stays up late till 3 in the morning, films these videos. This guy is consistent. If you are a YouTuber out there, that's probably the model you want to take. He burns himself out as much as he can, but he's only getting those 3 videos out a week right there, whereas Kevin is just going like crazy. That hustle is insane. I've seen him put out 5-6 videos a day. Some of them are 20 minutes long. That would take me an entire day to figure that out if I was putting out one 20-minute video. I don't know how the guy does it, and at the same time, he's also selling a lot of real estate as well. So hats off to you two gentlemen in California, just killing the YouTube game right now. If you guys aren't subscribed, like, get over there and subscribe to those guys right now. But it's been inspirational to see them, and they still kind of comment on our stuff, which is great. We still know them. If it wasn't for COVID, they'd likely be in Ontario for one of our events, because they love to just come and hang out with us.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, a recurring theme here on my YouTube channel is building relationships over transactions, and I'm really glad and feel really fortunate that we've been able to build the relationship that we have with those guys. But I think it's important that everyone watching this understands as well, there's not a single drop of their success, in my opinion, that is by accident. Hey YouTube, have you guys been enjoying the sponsorship splash page we have at the end of every YouTube video now? Do you guys like it? Are you a business owner or maybe just a real estate influencer or investor and you'd like more exposure to potentially my YouTube audience? Well, now you can help support my YouTube channel as well as grow your personal brand or your business brand by sponsoring my splash page. It's really not that expensive, and if you want to find out more information, it'll be all below in the video description down. So just go grab it, reach out to my team, and let's chat. I think it's important that everyone watching this understands as well, there's not a single drop of their success, in my opinion, that is by accident. They just like will outwork their problem. Again, Graham focuses so much on really understanding the algorithm and what engages with people and what people react to. I can remember him like A/B testing his thumbnails like years ago, right? Like, and he was taking that very seriously. And to this day, he continues to hone his craft. He's never once became complacent or got to a point where he feels like he is entitled to his success. He really is a very humble, driven dude. And then again, Kevin, like to see him build his brand and approach teaching people and educating people about real estate in the manner he has is really innovative. And again, I just love seeing the entrepreneurial aspect that oozes through everything that Meet Kevin does. Because again, he's very intelligent, and I love the sort of brand and relationship he's building with his audience. So both of those guys just like crushing it on a different level on YouTube, and I have no doubt that they're here to stay. Like, they're going to be a mainstay fixture for years, decades. I don't know, how long does YouTube last? Is it a lifetime? If so, I imagine that we're going to see them in their 60s and 70s still asking you to smash that like button. So.
For the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on though, maybe jumping almost to the completely opposite end of the spectrum from at least what people would normally think is typical YouTube success, which is often just subscribers or views, are smaller, more niche content providers like our buddy Matt Piche. And so Matt has actually been on YouTube the longest out of everyone that I just name dropped. He's literally been doing it for a couple years before I was. And Matt continues to really focus on just one niche, which is the Kitchener-Waterloo real estate niche. And he's just focused on building up his personal brand in that regard and finding money partners to help him build up his business as well as clients for his real estate brokerage. And again, it's been fascinating to see him really just stay focused on that one goal and not get distracted. I've got a tendency to hop around from thing to thing. I love tasting, experimenting, exploring, where Matt's been very focused on the end in mind, and that's really what he stayed on in regards to his personal brand.
Yeah, where Meet Kevin and Graham are having a lot of success making money off Google AdSense, Matt Piche is making all the money off money partners and real estate. So he's not necessarily making, although he was having some success recently on a lot of videos, but he's not at the level, he's not at your level at the moment, and he's definitely not at Graham and Meet Kevin's level, but he is killing it in the real estate game. So again, if you're a new YouTuber, you gotta kind of pick what your niche is to be a YouTuber or to be a real estate investor. He's using it to find joint venture partners, find money, and if you follow him on his Instagram account, he's constantly lending out money from all these flips and sales he's doing. So he's doing probably at a similar dollar value as these other guys, but then he's not making it straight off Google.
Yeah, it's just important to understand there's a lot of different ways to profit or build a business off of social media, and what that back end looks like can look, you know, it's a huge spectrum. From like, I only need 1,000 true fans and I just need those fans to get me here, to I only need 10 really good money partners and I just need to build a strong relationship with them on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever, to I'm going to have millions of followers and make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of YouTube ads and just the embedded sponsorships, affiliate links, and selling courses and merches and things of that nature. So again, it's a giant broad spectrum, but it's really fun to see everyone that came out to ORECK in Vegas just continuously experimenting. So Chandler David Smith, I think, is a great example of someone that just always been dabbling with YouTube and keeping his eye on it. And in fact, that was really the only reason he came out to the Vegas entrepreneur experience. I can remember jumping on a call with Chandler and talking him into actually flying out to Vegas to meet a bunch of strangers he'd only watched their YouTube videos of. And at that point in time, he was just wanting to break into real estate a YouTube channel and really like build his presence there. But since then, he's been, you know, using YouTube to actually generate a lot of employees for his direct sales business, where he's built up a giant door knocking empire selling pest control. And he's actually found a lot of his candidates, a lot of his best salespeople through that social media brand building, while also experimenting and doing things like recently he launched his own little app as a property analyzer app. So again, it's really fun to see everyone playing in different niches in regards to the power of social media.
Yeah, one of the things that Chandler did, he got to meet Kevin at our Vegas event, and then about a year or so later, he just said, he took a shot in the dark, and he's like, hey Kevin, I'm going down, I think they were in Mexico or something, and he said, why don't you come down here, hang out with my buddies, they're all sales rep guys, I'll fly you down here, and me, Kevin, agreed to it, and guess what happened? You invite a YouTuber down to a party, you're gonna get some videos, and then all of a sudden, Chandler picked up a lot of traction on YouTube right now, and his content has been phenomenal. His editing is like amazing right now. I'm really loving Chandler's channel. He's just launched recently. So, and it's amazing content too about how to buy real estate. It's like right in the trenches. It's just like Matt McKeever's content. So you want to get over and follow Chandler as well too, especially if you're an American, because it's all about Idaho. That's where he's at, and he's buying large buildings just like Matt and I are too. And we've shot some other videos talking about our large buildings, but it's so cool to see one of our friends as well do it in the States, because we might need to rely on him one day if we're ever going down there to do that in different states if we ever want to branch out of Canada. But super proud of Chandler. And who else do we got?
So yeah, then we've got Mike Rosehart, and it's been interesting seeing how Mike uses social media. He's used it in multiple different ways at different times as a different tool. He's used it to build up a large pool of potential money partners and use that to build out a real estate business, then sells the real estate business, then starts the business again. He's a bit of a yo-yo in that regards, but he's also really used social media to spread the gospel of FIRE, the financial independence retire early movement. And he's got on mainstream media, right? Like,
yeah.
Was it MSNBC or CNBC, one of those channels?
They all picked him up.
Okay, yeah, like a mainstream US media. He ended up getting picked up by European,
and back. Yeah.
And so really fascinating to see his story kind of go viral across the global conscious at one point. You know, the super frugal 24-year-old Canadian that retired at a young age with a young family. And that to me, one, is personally really gratifying, because I can remember essentially talking, almost feels like bullying with hindsight, Mike into starting a YouTube channel. Mike, you're going to love it. Just do it. Trust me, man. Oh, it sounds like a lot of work. I don't know. Like, what am I going to get from? Dude, you're meant for this. Just do it. And so much fun to see him grow his brand and experiment as well. And now he's got, very similar to myself with the mansion, he's got his own house of mentees, and all those mentees have found him through social media and YouTube.
And a lot of his content applies to everybody pretty much, because it's all about saving money and quitting your 9-to-5. So it's perfect content. And Mike, he was at Vegas as well too. So I'm pretty impressed that he came down to that, because he actually had a mentee pay for him to come down there. So he didn't even have to pay to come to Vegas, because he had one of his fans pay for him. So that's the power of Mike Rosehart.
And the power of social media. So it's really cool to see what we can do and how we can use that as a tool, and understand that this tool is still brand new to the human race. We're still experimenting with it. Who knows what it's going to look like 5-10 years from now, or the sort of influence or lasting power. What happens when you build a really deep connection with an influencer over 5, 10, 20 years? We don't even really know, because that's never existed before, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm really excited to see where these YouTubers that we've been talking about go as well in regards to their career. All right, well, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and make sure you check out some of the other great real estate investing content I've got here on YouTube. Check out this playlist right here, or maybe check out this playlist right here. But again, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you hang around if you're new here, and until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys.